My name is Trina Christine Mason. I was born in Miami Beach, Florida on February 26, 1992. I was born at 1:45 in the morning. This is how the Vatican, or anyone really, can know who you are. The stars, we are literally children from the stars. You have to know that you are divinely protected at all times, and how special you really are. That's why they say, as above, so below. The similarities are all throughout the universe. I can feel and know this. It's kind of uncomfortable to accept. I'm in this intimate process of remembering myself and healing, and most of all releasing all of the grief, all of the pain, all of the suffering. Now, it was important to me to make a video that stated my case of my personal human experience, everything I could remember. It was a delicate process to kind of find my own personal army, or my people, the people who would love me and accept me unconditionally and truly be my companions in this journey of life, no matter what I had said, because they had understood who I was in my natural, so-called chaotic, animalistic self. I recognize and understand that I have an opportunity at life here, and I have chosen to serve you with the brightest of lights I could ever offer. At times I came to you disguised, attempting to receive love, and to give love was also the mask on the front. At the same time, buried deep behind a smile, lied my pain, and lied my every secret that even I wanted to hide, which is why I ran to you, because when I ran to you, I had found myself. I had met another part of me, another new way to love, a joy and acceptance, a great place of peace and harmony outside of myself when I could not rest and feel complete at the present time on my own. My intentions for the rest of my human experience is to show respect and condolences to my spirit for every ounce of forgiveness I had not served it, and I had been extremely difficult and harsh and harmful to my own self. I did not understand my purpose or why I was here or what my job was until I had found out what had sincerely served my inner person, pleasure and peace within the self. Now, in order for me to fully heal, I had to come to terms with what I call my frozen parts, or my dark parts, the parts of myself that I wouldn't let go, or that I didn't want to know, or that I ran from, or that I couldn't see, that I denied and I neglected, my subconscious. Like I said, I wanted a puppy, but I didn't really want a puppy. I wanted something to follow me all around, and someone or something to be so in love and obsessed with me. See the illusion? It's a false narrative, a false conception, a false understanding, fear, false evidence appearing real. I hope you recognize this and choose to not believe in a punishing God like I did. I had believed in a punishing God, and therefore I had created so many circumstances for myself that allowed myself on a subconscious level to punish myself. I had self-doubt. I had no self-worth. I had no self-understanding. I had no compassion. I had no respect. I had no grace. I had no space. There was always someone trying to control me. And then there were those of you who held a space for me to grow, allowing me to get to know myself after all the world had blasted itself upon me, basically. And while I had my wars with her for being here and cursing and screaming at the skies and at the sun, not understanding why I was given breath and light and like what's really going on here. And then getting to know myself has gotten me to really get to know my cells and my feelings, my body, my embodiment. And not just that, but I've also got to know so many people intimately and known their secrets as if they were my own. And I have held so much space and grace and acceptance for people that I couldn't even have for myself. And by doing that, I kind of learned how to. I had to have deep understanding about people and everything in order for me to really open my heart up. I mean, I could have a choice to look at everything as ugly and disgusting and no good. That was really easy to do. What was hard was to love and to try to find, like, all right, what's the good in this? All right, what did that do? So something that I had to do as a kid, not even as a kid, just a few years ago at Wolf's Museum of Mystery, the graces of the Mertz, who gave me a space of home and gratitude and understanding and acceptance fully, unconditionally at the time. So I assumed it was best for us to part our ways. Moving on. Let us come back to Heart Center, where I can become one with myself, so I can continue telling me and you the personal story. Being at the museum, I had brought back all of my psychic gifts. And I had them when I was a kid, and so, my parents, they put me on prescription drugs, and also I was really hyper, and the school couldn't deal with me. I was a lot. I still am a lot. I'm a very powerful being. I'm very clearly from the stars, or not from here, or whatever you like to say about me. And I've had to love these dark parts. This is the only way, the parts that I didn't want to see. My singing, my love, my anger, my power, my pain, my responsibility, my ability to respond to my own feelings, my own being. It was quite an intimate experience, as stated before. So what I had done at the museum, one evening laying in the Lizzie Borden bedroom, in the round bed, while everyone else was asleep, I chose to go inside myself and to remember one of the most painful things I could. I did this intentionally because I had noticed that I was subconsciously blacking out and I was forgetting, and this had expressed itself in professional wrestling world. When I got inside the ring after I'd practiced and known everything, my subconscious, as soon as I got into violence, I would freeze up and black out. And then I found out and remembered that my virginity was stolen from me in my sleep. Someone had touched me. And so, I went inside myself that night as a grown-up level, and I started to see how my sexual abuse had morphed me into a different person. And then I kind of looked at also, of course, the family experience and the environments I had been in that I've chosen to be in. My parents had trusted me to set me free to make my own decisions, and I was the very one who, I couldn't trust because I followed my heart blindly and I hurt myself. So I had to close myself up. I stopped talking. I wouldn't open up. I got really dark and gothic. I was obsessed with death because my father had a terminal illness, and he was the only man that I ever thought, that was really for me, someone that I really connected with. I didn't really understand anything. I'm kind of #actually autistic. Unfortunately, your labels and your judgments separate you from me and the rejection. My father is doing very well at this time, and yes, we all must pay a price for the gift of life, so it seems. Wait a minute. Am I stuck here for the night? What's going on? Okay. I was scared for a minute. Okay. Freedom. So moving on. There's an ironic part, okay? Quantum physics. My mother had the same traumatic injury to her at the same exact time. We woke up to wetness, except hers was spit and mine was blood. And when I remembered myself that night, I thought to myself, what if he took my stuff, my girl parts, my virginity? And then that's when I broke down crying. I just knew. And then the genetic memory passed through of sexual abuse from my mother and her sisters, and then of course her mother. And I do have this subconscious belief system that my father's lineage has identical traumas with the whole, excuse me, how do I say, sexual ritual abuse, or just like it's ritualistic because it happens every generation, okay? It's like a generational curse. Like, we've caught it all these, there's so many different narratives to this stuff. Let us come back to center. So subconsciously, I noticed that my parents had similar dark parts, like their addictions. My mom wanted to stay young forever. My dad just wanted to be free and happy, yet at the same time, you know, they both struggled to kind of give themselves that permission to fully love themselves. That self-doubt was passed down to me, and it got to them from their grandparents. And these contracts, since we believe them, they're true. And it kind of puts red fibers in the aura, causes a virus on the aura. Okay, because you believe it, it's like a curse. So like when we're born in America, our footprint, our DNA is taken, and our name is put in capitals or cursive. And it counts as a corporation. Because we gave them permission over our souls, we had become Rome over here in America. We have chosen to worship the material and to rule the world, the one world order, the new world order, because they had to create Earth here. Like, why do you think everything's so perfect here? Do you think everything was on accident? How could you be so foolish, you know? Everything is so symmetrical in quantum physics and Mandela effect and string theory. You can only begin to get the tip of the iceberg of it. No matter how much you try to acquire, you can never absorb. The teacher will present itself when the student is ready. So if you shut me down now, you know, maybe you can come back to me another time. Or perhaps you choose to just disconnect and remain trapped inside the illusion that's going on in front of you. All the stimuli that is being shoved inside your eyes. It's Clockwork Orange brought to life. You're tricked. Everyone's pretending to be so happy on social media, and still you're so lost and dark within yourself. You are literally killing yourself and killing the entire planet. We were man. We were gods. There's 4 different skulls on the planet. We're not all the same. Look it up. Look it up. Look up. Man, I can't even remember the man's name. Project Paperclip. And he has a scripture on his tomb. And you just have to question, why does he do that? You have to understand what's going on. You have to understand Sirius and Syrian, S-Y, and S-I, the dog star. You need to understand the difference and understand the lineages and all the things, his stories that were erased. How the books were burned. I like to return to his story. So all my gifts come back, and I start becoming of service. And through becoming of service, I start realizing my purpose, that God gave me these gifts. I had rejected them because I was originally taught that, like, I'm weird. And that, like, yeah, it's not right, or it's devilish or whatever. But, you know, the Mormons had taught me that it's actually the gift of the Holy Spirit. And it's not just the Mormons. It's just like all people who believed in God. Originally, it was just like a regular Christian church. The Mormons, though, what I had come to know of them is it seems like they believe that we must pay the price of the flesh. And the way that I think about that is like, imagine your family did some really, really shady stuff. And that basically none of them are alive anymore. So now the only flesh left is you. So you have to pay the price with your life experience, your karma, your experiences, the electromagnetic currency, like the frequency that you are, the DNA that's all coiled up and wound up. Your DNA is very signature, and they're trying to change everyone's DNA to touch. I can't explain, okay? I can't explain. I'm trying to explain. I'm telling you that they're doing eugenics. They're messing with the eugenics through the chemicals inside the food and the chemicals inside the air, and then the stimuli that's on the computer. They're trying to play God. They're trying to control the algorithms to change the loops of time. I completely empathize with it, but I'm a firm believer that the people deserve their free will as God has given us all. Right? Or creator. I mean, it just comes naturally, you know, like the natural law says that we can kill, even though the law says that we can't, that man-made. Understand? I'm not saying we're supposed to destroy each other. I personally do not believe that there is any justice or reason or good authenticity purpose of harming and killing one another. We have all been given the power to rule. That does not mean to control. It means to respect, to love, to care, to nurture, to grow upon. I do believe that if there is a beast or man who is intimately attempting to try to destroy you, literally killing you, not killing your feelings, not breaking your little heart. Literally, they're coming at you, about to murder you. Then you can, yes, use your force that God gave you to protect the ego. You do not need your eyes to see. Did you know that? There's a great video on YouTube that shows the documentary of the boy without eyes who could see. It's quite amazing. You can see with sound, electromagnetic frequency. Please understand what is going on. See the beauty in all the world. See the brilliance instead of focusing on the shadows. That was my intention. I had grown so much from my traumas. You wanted to feel bad for me. You wanted to feel bad for me for my suffering, but my pain was my paycheck because it made me rich. Because I was capable of surviving such traumatic experiences and being able to process and understand and breathe and be with them and transform the energies into myself and still find myself in there after such occurrences without prescription drugs, without weapons harming the self. I understand that some weapons can be tools. It's all your choice how you're going to serve yourself. Again, do you believe in a punishing God or do you believe in a loving God? Because this God is in your heart and lives on through you. So if you are choosing to destroy, then you are destroying yourself and others. You have ignorance, neglect, and you're malnourished from the spirit. And you lack your own will, your own desire. You have to understand that this violence was almost subconsciously instilled into you, and it's not your fault. What is your fault, though, is if you don't acknowledge this. Acknowledge meaning to act upon knowledge. I'm not doing this for show. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because this is literally what my life was worth to me. I'm apologetic that this isn't the most beautiful video. You don't see me. You feel me through my voice. And it's not my story that you hear, but you hear the frequency, the truth inside of me telling you. A lot of my inspirations tonight came from many people who have been so close around me. Some of you had wished to not be named and did not have the intention of giving me this knowledge so that you could be named. All of you know the space contained. There is a slight bit of humility I feel for my creation and my family once I recognized and accepted the integration of the lineages and seen, what everyone had witnessed over the generations. I understand the planetary evolution at hand here, okay? It's been quite traumatic to witness and experience. I'm literally taken away with my breath, It's been really, really difficult to process. So difficult. I had resisted the process, and caused a lot more problems for myself and others because I didn't show up as myself. I held myself back. I wasn't happy. And when I wasn't happy, I made other people happy. When I seeked without, I had given them what I wasn't showing them. You know what I mean? They would suddenly feel bad around me because I was hiding it. And then there would be an energy transfer through the toroidal field. Toridal. Toridal. That sounds about right. Toroidal field, your electromagnetic energy that when you come into the room that you feel someone's vibe and you can tell if they're sad, even if they're lying with a smile on their face. You can feel it when you're in someone's presence, just like when you touch something, you can feel the energy. That's called psychometry. It's like a form of psychic energy, actually. There's a Wikipedia on the list of psychic abilities, and you can exercise these skills just like you can exercise every other muscle inside your brain. But if you don't give yourself permission, again, that belief system, God gave you the power of belief. Your belief, you have the power and the choice of what you believe. You don't have to believe. You can choose what works through you as you. It's never the person. You have to also understand that alcohol. You have to understand that there's unseen entities. There are unseen presences. Some of you have had intimate experiences with these people, places, and things. Oh man, I'm starting to see a little bit more clearly now. You guys, I really choose to get my things together as soon as possible and to come together with the love of my life if he will accept me unconditionally. Man, I need and choose his protection. I trust in him. I choose him. Love me enough so I can have him. I feel like I'm going to be taken away from him. and that he has missed his opportunity. I hope that I'm wrong and that it's just my fear. False evidence appearing real, you know? I'm sincere. I really do wish that I could just have kids with this one person I've chosen. I don't wish for anything else. No one else, nothing else. Yes, I recognize I will need money so that way I can feed my family. And that I will need to no longer... Actually, let me stop this. Let me say this. Excuse me, I apologize. Excuse the language. I'm attempting to get recentered. You guys, I'm a starving artist. 100% of my income is what I call IFCOME. IFCOME. I never know how much I'm going to make. The world system of money messed with my head of my own self-worth, especially with the education. So I became obsessed with knowledge because I recognized that knowledge was power, true understanding, and love and compassion. This was the sacred wisdom, the most powerful flower of all. I understand more than all. I had tried to read to you the story and God said to the Zodiac on the Life Coach website. Most of you just wanted to be selfish and focus on whatever your tropical, sidereal, or Vedic astrology sign was, instead of recognizing that you are all of the 12 children combined. You have to recognize the powers of the star combined. That's literally what you are. There's 12 degrees, and you all come together as one. That's why the pyramids, that's why the obelisks, that's why all the sacred geometry, there's so many different things going on. Oh, you guys, I forgot to get gas. Oh no. I either had two boyfriends or the same boyfriend did the same traumatic thing to me. I'm literally blacking it out because the trauma's so bad. Where we ran out of gas and had to be on the side corner of the road, and I had to walk and just I don't know, be publicly humiliated, it felt like. I've been through a lot of traumatic experiences, and I hear Uncle Frank say, I don't know anything, all that I know is what I had experienced. And I feel the exact same way. Everybody that has touched my life and had become part of me, literally, their light had lived on through me as me, and that's what you had loved. All these different people who have touched my life. I have shared with you this great wisdom, this great light, this great information that is contained to you in this darkness. If you could choose to step into the darkness, the infinite darkness. Darkness is infinite, light is contained. You need infinite darkness to contain the light. You need to know the light that you are. You are literally light. You are photons. You are electromagnetic energy. Look up and study the body. The body is the only thing that you own. Always. The only thing that you really need. And you are still taught to know absolutely nothing about it. I am you in a different body having a different experience. Please see, know, and recognize me. Love me as yourself. Nurture me. Invest in me. Support me emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, as much as you possibly could. You can only love me as much as you can love you. And you can only love me the way that you know how to love you and others. I was a caretaker almost my entire life. So I didn't know how to take care of myself unless I was taking care of somebody else. And I still struggle with that self-love and that force, unless I'm imagining if I had a husband, maybe I'd be a lot more interested if you could help me see why I'm worth my life. Because I guess I struggle to still see and recognize that, especially when people won't give me money and see my worth if I want to have my own business and want to be a teacher of these core important lessons that I feel like I was neglected and unnurtured from as a child. I would like to heal the children of Earth and to send them so much love and to let them know the truth about stem cells and HEK 293 and Monsanto and Bayer and Zyklon B, ZYKLON B. You have to understand why Hitler wanted to kill the Jewish people. There's so much subliminal messages going on, and stop labeling people and conditioning people, okay? It's just evil. That's all we're casting out, fear. Anything evil, killing, any justification, saying that it's for God that you're killing, or that because this or that. There's no justification, not for the military. There's no excuse. Energy transference. You kill things all the time unconsciously. Stepping on the sand, you have no idea. You are literally a giant to all these delicate things, and still you run so mindlessly through the earth, uncaring, unknowing So curious, yet so destructive with your curiosity. How could you? How could you destroy the cells that had carried you? You had always felt alone, and still Mother Earth was holding you all this time. All the space that you had ever wanted and needed to grow, she had given you. You thought you were all alone. That is a false narrative, and you're being segued away from your heart center. You need to remember to breathe. Get in touch with your senses. Close your eyes. Stop listening to what everyone else is telling you, what you are and what the world is, etc. Get in touch with your inner world. Right now, you are Alice inside of my wonderland, and I am Alice inside your wonderland every single time. But if you only knew that when we look into each other's eyes, we can see each other, and there's infinite consciousness, infinite abundance. We can create scrying inside one another, see another's pain. You can hear it in your voices. You know the language is all messed up. You know, as I stated before, the 4 different skulls. There's so much science. There's so much information that you're being kept separated from. There's a reason why you're being separated from me, and there's a reason why you're being intentionally separated from yourself. There's a reason why the chemicals atrazine are being put inside all the organic compost. They're trying to lower the population. The energy is just getting out of control. There's no love anymore. No one's really coming together for love. People are holding back their love, and they're not creating from a place of love. And just people are angry because there's a loss of love, and they have expectations, and their expectations are destroying themselves because their inner stories are like comfortable, and they're like comfortable in the negative. They need to release the control. Release the control. Release your desire to control, and release the control the desire and the illusion has over you. You're being used as a tool. You have a job to do. That's why you are here. And no, it's not about getting a paycheck and working in the system. It's about you being in touch with you and really loving you from the inside out, and doing everything that you do with love, because you know that you are aligned with your purpose, your call, your duty, what truly makes you happy. That's how you know you are aligned. But if you are keeping your shoes on all the time, and you're disconnected from earth, and you're not breathing, and like you're, putting chemicals and things inside your body that like scientifically say is no good, atrazine, do not forget that. Look that up. They're making everyone asexual. That's why they're also mass pushing birth control. That's why they're trolling everyone about birth rights, because they're trying to like make everyone step into their power. That's why they're destroying the women's image, that they're, women originally were wearing lipstick because it was saying that those are the geishas, those are the ones, the sacred ones for lovemaking. So now they're like overexposing the lovemaking energy and like super deteriorating like our consciousness. Like we're literally incapable of making love with each other because we have all these expectations of what we're seeing in our movies, which is all falsified, and like no connection, just like pure pleasure, animalistic desire, not coming from a place of like heart center, other than like wishing to connect with somebody, which is completely understandable. There's nothing shameful about making love. You would not be here without love making. You need to understand the importance of love making and give yourself permission to explore your body and know what really brings you joy. Understand that a lot of people in the world are literally denying themselves pleasure. Like we could talk about like the circumcisions or the cutting off of the clitoris or all the other things that are going on a global scale. Please do not believe in a punishing God. God does not want us to kill each other. You do not want to kill it. Like, why would you do that? Do not, like, you have a choice on how you're going to respond, how you're going to react. You have a choice of this. You can calm yourself. You can talk to your cells, your feelings, and re-narrate and have a way of understanding by choosing to. You can choose to look at things through the lenses of your past experience. Or you can choose to look at things like you are a child, like each time it is a new time. But that is up to you. Some of us allow ourselves to become tainted, and we miss out on so many different opportunities because we think that each time is going to be the same as the last time. And sometimes the other way, like you keep hoping on a fantasy instead of like being in touch with your reality and what really makes you happy, and give yourself permission to really be you. Guru. Gu is darkness. Ru is remover. Guru. G-U-R-U. It's all about you getting in touch with you. That's what a Swami is. That's all the same thing. It's all about you getting in touch with yourselves, your feelings, your intimate being, you really loving you and yourself, because you are the only thing you really, really, really have control over. Be the change you want to see in the world. Choose to love everyone. We are only 6 degrees away from separation. That means if you want to reach Steve-O, Joe Rogan, who else does Trina want to meet? Man, who do I really want to meet? Come on, Trina. Like, this is your chance. Like, if you can plant your seed, where's your heart at? Julia Chernetsky, I would love to give you a hug. Who else? Alice Hoffman, I would shake your hand. I think you're awesome. There's so many beautiful writers. Stephen Hawking, man, I missed out on that, right? Oh, Nikola Tesla. All these people I've met in quantum mechanics. Edgar Casey. Like, excuse me. But seriously, it's called 6 degrees of separation. Look into it. There's also the laws of 5, you know, where how you control everyone through chaos. You keep people confused and in chaos. It creates a bureaucracy, and like the system can always, like, it basically implodes from itself. So you have to understand how the chaos is kind of keeping people in check. It's kind of like that Kali energy, and a lot of people that study Sanskrit know this. I always wanted to point out about, how do you say, like, Ashanti. Shanti means peace in Sanskrit. A means to cancel out, or the ancient way of doing things. So Ashanti. I have this conspiracy theory that they use this beautiful woman as like a sacrifice, if you will, an energetic transfer for everyone to like witness this experience and to do group healing to the masses, basically on like a really shadowy aspect. And it's really quite unfortunate because, you know, life is precious and a lot of us just didn't respect it. I've been doing my best to shed all of this trauma that's been passed down. There's intimate studies that's been done on rats where the mom rats were electrocuted every time that they smelled cherries. And when the babies were born and they smelled cherries, the genetic memory was carried on and they reacted in fear the exact same way. My mother didn't get her driver's license until she was like 40. I didn't get my driver's license until I was like 25. The trauma had passed down through me. I was so afraid of the world. I was so conditioned and brainwashed. I was just so afraid of everything, when really I knew I just had to get out there and see the world. But I can't get out inside the world without you. I need you to like carry my weight. You know what I mean? Show your support. Show some love. Show some compassion. Show some understanding. Listen to one another. Have some understanding. Come together with yourself instead of searching outside yourself for people, places, and things to fill the void within you. You are not an empty cup. You are full from within. You should have known this from the moment that you have begun. How dare you think that you are unworthy of this breath, of this opportunity of life, this gift of service, of being everywhere that there is discord, and earning it, or from it, the efforts of love. You earn love, and each love is different. It's not personalized. Each person is special, a delicate snowflake, right? Just like our genetic memory, our DNA, everyone's DNA is different. Our individualistic blueprint, our footprint, our soul, our genetic memory, our self, our mind, our consciousness. We are one of a kind. What's the wonderful thing about Tigger? There's only one. I love you so much. I wish you would be kind to yourself. When you're unkind to others and when you are ignorant and when you reject others, you are sincerely recognize where you're rejecting a part of yourself. You can only see in others what is inside of you. And yes, what you run from, you will never understand. That's how you tell the difference between the light and the dark. Light is all-knowing, basically. It holds so much space and like so much information, so much depth, so much like, oh man, it's love, acceptance, peace, truth, harmony, knowledge. And then the darkness is like fear, anger, depression, self-sacrifice, self-harm. Okay? It's all the shadowy aspects. It's not that difficult if you can really ground yourself and pay attention. Knowledge isn't free. You have to pay attention. I'm grateful for you spending with me all this time and energy. It's the only things that we can never, ever, ever get back. So if you valued this and you spent your time listening to me, thank you. I understand. If you choose, you can. I give you permission to invest in me the ways that I have allowed myself to receive in this universe and at this time, so that I can keep surviving, I can keep spreading my light all over the world. I really do wish to travel to Egypt. I wish to come to Ireland. I wish to come to India. I wish to be welcomed with loving arms and to be understood. I wish that we could all just hold hands and just have a glass of water together. Or if we could even just share breath, or just understand that we are literally all sharing breath together. That is how we are all one. We literally have breath transference all over the planet with the birds, the trees, everything. ATCG, the 4 bottom nucleotides that says that we all share the same Mother Earth. How interesting. Fibonacci comes to mind. Fibonacci. Look up how perfect everything is, and how everything is basically a sound vibration. Sound healing is everything. We have been kept away from what everything is. Everything is E equals MC square. I'd like you to picture a square right now. In the upper left corner, we're going to have a lowercase m. At the bottom right corner, we're going to have a capital M. This stands for mass. Now on the other side, on the left, I'm going to put a little c. And in the upper right corner, I'm going to put a big C. And this is going to represent the light. Okay? The capacity, whatever word you want to put here for that, okay? Look this up. Because it's 4 times, okay? So there's 4 corners of it. I like to think of this as above, so below. And also equal and opposite reaction. And one more. Oh, there's it, right? There's you, the subject. And then there's us looking at it. See how small the perspective versus what it really is, and that you can only really know it when you can stand under it, when you understand, when you can fully support it and know it and be it. So you have to be able to be with yourself until you can be with anybody else. But for as long as you are running away from you and your feelings and your truths, and that you keep filling yourself with food and things that you don't really need just to make yourself feel better, you really just need some water. Maybe some push-ups, some breath, lots and lots of breath. Maybe that's it. What if we are light beings and it's actually that when we eat food, it kills our cells? I'm just kidding. I don't really know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about on that level. But there are conspiracy theories about that, and how we are the aliens that are here, and how that's why everything's all messed up. You can look up that if you want. That's just a little segue. I like to make jokes, okay? You gotta have a light heart on this planet. Otherwise, it's so easy to allow things to take you away from your own spirit, to allow yourself to become tainted by your past experiences. There's so much that you've been through, and there's so much of that you have allowed to become part of you, instead of you truly loving and understanding yourself and everyone. There's so much information stuck in your spit. Did you know that? So much information stuck in a handshake. It's simple when you touch someone. There's genetic memory that's passed. I wonder how much time you would spend with yourself if you really, really loved you. Some of you are saying how long you have been alone. Remember, everyone's love is different. So your love, you'll always be lonely because love is not allowed to be personalized. And you are to have freedom because you need to go all over the planet. But if you're not giving yourself permission to have these experiences, you're not going to have these experiences. So if you keep saying, I want, I wish, I can't, I won't, I don't, your conscious spelling, your language that you're speaking, your babble, is creating your reality. Come back to your heart center and remember who you are. Give yourself permission to have infinite abundance. Give yourself permission to have family. Give yourself permission to have the responsibility of taking care of others. Give yourself permission to have strength. Give yourself permission to have self-esteem. Give yourself permission to have understanding. Give yourself permission to have love. Give yourself permission to have honor. Give yourself permission to have purity of thought. Have the ability to reflect on the opposite side of your actions. You'll never know why people speak or why people listen, but in your quest for the answer, you will find the gift of knowledge. Quote. Please choose to love you. You don't have to keep choosing to let fear rule over you and through you. Don't allow your time and your energy to be bought for the price of money or for any trade. Give yourself permission. Understand how the image of man was manipulated to you for you to think what beauty really was, instead of you accepting your cells and your organs exactly as they are perfectly. Why do you think they're trying to destroy the world? It's just they're trying to get the population down. It's the Georgia Guidestones, okay? Look those up. Or don't and remain ignorant. It's just not a coinky-dink, okay? There just needs to be a great deep understanding of this. Illuminati, Lucifer, it all means light, information. Knowledge is power, and with great power comes great responsibility. The ability to respond to the planet. The power to rule over the livestock, the fish, and all that creepeth. All that creepeth. Yes, things give me the EBGBs, it's true, and sometimes I don't always understand why things are here, and yes, I'm very good at tearing things apart, especially myself and others. I choose to understand and act upon that knowledge that I know about myself, that I'm not so good at these things, so I can make a conscious effort every day that I have the opportunity to wake up to be a better man, to be a better human, a womb, W-O-M-B, womb man. I also like to break down the word wound. Give me a second. Wow, I've lost it. Yeah, I've lost that part of me. It's kind of a shadowy part of me, but it's buried deep. I wish I could remember that part of me. There's only one person in the world that I told that acronym breakdown. But it was like, weapons of weapons of universal nuclear destruction. Wound. It has to do with nuclear energy and how our pain and suffering is an energetic transfer, as stated before. Kind of like colors. Color psychology. The color blue is all about truth. That's why Facebook is blue. Instagram is pink and yellow because it makes you face your truth, your pink, your heart, your feelings, and then the yellows like your power, and then the orange like your creativity. And then there's purple like higher consciousness. You can look up color psychology. And like I posted some great quotes on my Instagram as stated before. I also love using Twitter. I have a website called itsmyurls.com/Trina Mason, TRINAMASON, ITSMYURLS. That's my official online blueprint where you can find me on this CERN creation. I'm so thankful for this interference and this opportunity to share this light with you. I have so much more to share with you. I hope to make this video in a more positive light and in a more grounded manner. I would also like to include more of my personal journey along with some other additional quotes and things that I've come to understand. I'm supposed to talk about my own personal experiences. I hear very loud and clear about the difference between the light and the dark, and like how the dark was actually the bright light parts too, okay? They're just different shades of light, different experiences, different ways of witnessing the artwork, okay? But let me tell you this, no matter how much I speak, all of my words are just paper flowers. Paper flowers, meaning that they have no life, no scent, or it's like a painted candle. No matter how beautiful or lovely, it can never light a room. You must have intimate experience, just like you must have intimate experience with earth or God, the sun. You know, something else I really enjoy about the religious textbooks is where, how do I say this? Like, Jesus is Adam, is Trina. You know, if you don't believe in me, then how would you believe in you? You don't even believe in you, so why would you believe in anything else? You know what I mean? But some of you really do believe in yourself, and you're fighting me right now, and that's why I did that subconscious hypnotism, if you will, okay? I want you to see your power, know who you are. You can do tests. Put your power in your left hand, and then put the power of someone else in your other hand, and just literally feel it out and just test out yourself, and you'll feel like you'll find yourself coming out on top all the time. I learned this exercise from sphereheals.com, sphereheals.com. My Reiki master Heather taught me that integration. A lot of things that I'm doing, I'm only able to do because of the seed that she had planted inside me. So this is me kind of giving birth to myself again by resharing myself with the world the way that you hadn't understand me. I had gone through a lot of sexual abuse, and that had caused me to exploit this sexual energy of myself and be like a webcam girl and everything else that I've chosen to do. I did this because I wanted this sexual version of me to be put on stage, to be finally loved, to finally be like truly, truly loved. And my father at a subconscious level always told me that boys were only interested in one thing. So I struggled to see boys with heart. And so I became a kind of a heartless girl, and on a subconscious level, I had like a subconscious like incapability of believing guys could ever love me. That there was no such thing as what my dad kind of, or like maybe I just never really felt it, you know what I mean? I can't explain it. I never knew what it was, right? And I basically used my one thing, my punani, as a tool to like love guys, right? To show them love. And not just this, but like, I guess I have to confess my sins, I guess, where I was I was so mindless and uncaring and conscious, you know? I just wanted one thing, and that was their heart. I was just as evil. I wanted them to love me, but I had no understanding of what that was. I was just so brainwashed by Disney movies or whatever excuse you want to insert here, what I was searching for, this subconscious feeling of just knowing that there's somebody out there for me, that he's going to marry me and love me, and we're going to travel the world and do all these things together. I just want this one thing so bad. I would literally give up everything for this one thing. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. You can have everything. I understand we need money, okay? Can you just stop complaining about that? It sucks. I know. I understand. I have a belief system of trading and sharing. That's what I choose, okay? I've been sharing and giving as much as I can. I can't ever get back my life. I've almost given you an hour of my time now. I hope you see and know that this is not for me. This is for the children of Earth. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so apologetic for anybody or thing that has ever given you a different story about who you are. I see who you are because I see the me inside of you. And the way that I make you love you is by showing you how I see you through my eyes. I hope that you choose to gift me some of your time, some of your love, some of your understanding, some of your resources, and share them with me so that I can share them with our brothers and sisters on this planet. I understand that there are 4 different skulls and that there's 4 different nucleotide, the ATCG. I don't really understand what's going on, but I see and I feel and I smell and I touch. Always remember that you are always connected if you choose to come back to your center and know who you are and be who you are. Be kind to yourself. Be patient. Attempt. Do your best. reprogram yourself, reprogram your subconscious. I'm willing to work with you on a private level, one-on-one, just you and me, no public humility. If you want to be exposed about all your truths, all your secrets, I can help you with that too, with my empath gift. God gave me these gifts and I choose to use them in service. It's what makes me most happy. Please let me show you how the Spirit lives on in me. Please, I believe in equal energetic exchange. Do not, you dare please not have an expectation of me to be used as your tool. Okay, I'm just here to hold a space. All healing is self-healing. You have to give yourself permission to heal, which means you have to go inside your darkest parts and face your demons and the things that tear you apart, your biggest fears, and to show yourself some love and some confidence and some belief and self-esteem and strength and wisdom and family, some purity, honor, love. Oh man, purpose. Responsibility and understanding. These are all gifts and a great job. You earn it through exercising it. It doesn't just come to you. You got to create a space for it. All this uncomfortability inside your heart, all this empty space, you have to have that emptiness so that way you can receive something new. You have to clear yourself. Clear these feelings. Clear these connections to things that don't make you feel good. Also the things that make you feel good. This makes me feel good. I need more. These are your addictions. You are a slave. Do not allow yourself to be a slave to these experiences, to these feelings, to these people. Do not give your power away. Know who you are. Know what's happening to your subconscious mind. Know what's been written in stone for generations. Know what's really going on. Know that my religion is love and that I choose to use my life to bring us all together. Even if that means that, you're going to kill the messenger and use me as a human sacrifice. I just need you and every single person to know that I would never ever kill myself. That's my only thing that I want you to know. I would never ever 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 take myself out ever. 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 Because I know I can't get to Valhalla or I can't go home to God unless I fight with all my might, because then God's going to take me home. A lot of you are saying, hey, why am I still here? Why am I still here? You're living out your purpose every day, but if you feel like you're not and you're depressed because you know that you're holding yourself back and you're not being your true self, you're not being your authentic blueprint, you're not. You're allowing someone else to have that control over you. But you forget that the person that you may be with has come together with you because of all of your different intricate parts, that they should not be trying to contain and try to own you. You can be loyal to one another and be monogamous and not be spreading disease. Why do you think religion was all pushing the agenda of us having one partner? They're trying to control the population. It's understandable. You really have to control the energy. You got to be smart. Smart means painful. That's why it hurts to hear the truth. You have to understand, in order to understand, you have to stand under it. Please remember, I love you so much. I've given you so much. I'm literally drained at this point. I'm tired. My soul is tired. I really just want to go back home and to rest. And to me, sometimes that means home with God. And I'm not asking you to take me out. I'm just asking you to please share love with me and to nourish me, water me as much as you can. Share this seed. Share this with everyone you possibly can. Tell them to love themselves. Please get in touch with the Hopi Indian prophecy. Please get in touch with yourself. Please know the story, his story. It's usually told by the victors, the manipulators, the liars, the cheaters, the thieves. Trust your Holy Spirit. Trust your intuition. You're not going to randomly think that I'm a lying, cheating thief, But you're only going to be able to see in me what you see in you. I'm supposed to tell you that I never believed in religion before. Never. I don't know. I just didn't grow up with that in my house, I grew up learning about string theory at the age 12. And I'm thankful for that. And yeah, I was given some spiritual experiences. And I also, I guess you can say I kind of ran away from home. And I wanted to explore the world. And I got involved with some mall rats and some thieves that got me involved with some temptation of things that I didn't have and that I couldn't afford. And I got myself in some trouble stealing. And I was about 16 years old or younger. And I had to go to a Christian skate park called Ramp 48. And I did American Sign Language because I have autism. And if you pay attention to any of my old YouTube videos, you'll see I'm very nonverbal underwater. And that's where home is to me. Also, I remember being home, which may be above the firmament. I'm not really sure what's going on. Excuse that joke. It's a joke, okay? You got to look up that scientist from Paperclip. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It could just be a joke. I don't really know what's real and what's not anymore. But the way that you tell is like, are you doing this for show? Just for everybody else? Or are you living your life for you just because you want to be happy? Or are you just showing off? Or are you refusing to show off? Or are you refusing to show yourself that you're worth something? Give yourself permission to really enjoy your life. Understand what's going on. Man, I'm losing track of what I was saying before. I know it's really personal and intimate. It's about my dark parts, my shadows, my insecurities, my traumas, my own personal sufferings, okay? I can only speak from my own experience. I'm so apologetic for anything that you've had to go through on this human experience. Understand that it was for your growth and for your learning. It's going to be uncomfortable because it's new. Your comfort zone will kill you. Renda Ryder, one of my favorite poetic artists. I'm so grateful. That's all I can say. I'm so apologetic for anything that I may have lost right now. I'm kind of not really in my center. I'm not fully breathing. I'm exercising the practice of healing, which I have personally found through the yamas and the niyamas. And that's a path of yoga, which means divine union, becoming one with ourselves again and the world and being calm. You can win in calmness. It's so easy to be irritated and to turn into the animal. We are both animal and supreme consciousness, the forever present witness, the Ida and Pingala, subconscious, conscious, and superconscious, also known as sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. I know, I could keep going forever. I have so much more to give you if you choose to give me time. If you ask me questions, it's quest ion. You quest for a particular particle. And I have the gift of understanding and speaking in tongues, so I'll know what you mean, especially if I can auditory hear you. I'm clairaudient. I'm very good with hearing. I'm very good at communicating as well. I have many, many, many gifts. And I choose to be of service and of the maximum service to the power of love. I hope that you choose to join me on Team Trina Mason and my army of love. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with you what I have received. Namaste. Jai Bhagwan.